you have to pass a crazy test, an unrealistic test to get, funded or, whatever it is. So you can then get payouts. They then take a percentage of your profits, but as they should, it's kind of what funded accounts do. But, they do little things like they'll create accounts to trade against you. So if you buy, they'll sell. So why do they do that? Well, because 99% of brand new traders will end up losing money. So if they can just do the opposite of what a brand new trader thinks is the right way to do it, they can make money that way. They can make money on you not passing that, test, that funded test. So they make money on your fees. So, and sometimes it takes 2 weeks to pay out. Sometimes some of these funded account brokerages or whatever, they end up just not paying you. So they steal your money. It's a very dark world, and it's as close to if not a real scam in real time. So my advice is to stay away from that, but obviously you can do whatever you want. If you can make it work, you can make it work. So those are my thoughts on funded accounts. If you have other questions, though, feel free to ask. So what am I watching tomorrow, Michelle? So like I said, I'm getting my wisdom teeth out tomorrow, so I'll be MIA, but I'm definitely going to just look for continuation on a lot of these stronger names, right? PLTR had a really nice breakout today. I kind of hate how it just made the whole move in one single day. However, there could be continuation on PLTR. Obviously, Tesla's up, over 10% from 300. So I would probably be a little iffy on trying to force a new high trade there. But if there's strength, if the market continues the strength that it has, I think there could easily be, a new high scalp on that, right? So I'd be more on the careful side just because we have ran so much the last like 2-3 days. But I want to trade with the trend, right? I typically do well when the market's nice and strong, and there's a clear direction. So, Tesla, NVIDIA, PLTR, Snowflake is coming around. We're not super close to that. I doubt we get a trade on that this week or maybe even next. But guys, when we get back to 195 and 200, there's going to be a massive trade there. And I say that because there's a huge gap above 200 that goes all the way up to like 230. So once we break 194.40, break through 195, and we break through 200, that's when we can really get going. So that is it's going to be like the next really big A+ setup that I'm looking at. Snowflake. Let's see. Can you also talk about your journaling routines? Yeah. So like, I don't journal as much as I should anymore, but it's like I'm always mentally journaling because I'm teaching, right? So I'm always going over my entries, my exits, the way I think about trades, my walkthrough on the trade, stuff like that. But I sent you that video, Michelle, today on all those, those 2 huge books. There's probably 200, 300 pages in those that I filled out, right? So typically, like, I would chart the night before and I would write out, Tesla, resistance at 290, and I'm looking for a breakout over 290, then a break through 300. My targets are this and this. My stop loss is this. I'm looking to buy these contracts, whatever, that next morning. If nothing changes, I'll leave that trade idea, and then I'll write down, okay, I bought 3 contracts at this price. Total amount was this. I sold some here. I sold some there. I sold some, my rest of my position here, or I stopped out here. What did I do good? I kept my, emotions calm. I entered right when I need to. I didn't rush the trade. Some things I did bad was I sold too early. I sold too much my position too early. So always something I did good and something I did bad. And obviously at the end of that, I would do my overall P&L. And maybe there's 2 or 3 trade ideas or, whatnot. So that's kind of the gist of it. I always want the ticker, the trade idea, how much you bought, how much you made or lost, and then how you acted during the trade, and then P&L and whatnot. So you can get creative with it. Yeah, I know my Tesla plays. I need to just start like buying and closing my eyes because I can see these massive breakouts. Then I just kind of catch a nice piece of it, and then it just runs. So what are your thoughts on Coinbase? So Coinbase had that news last night that they're getting added to the S&P 500. This morning, this was actually one of my top watches. I wanted to see it open up and then dip. If this would have dipped down here close to, look, I even have an alert here at 225. If it came down to 225, I was going to be buying calls early and then basically closing my eyes, letting it go. I never got the dip in this range from 230 all the way up to 260. So would have been a really awesome trade. I can't believe I missed it. Big move today. So I would be a little iffy on trying to force another long trade tomorrow, but I do think this will be in play. Typically, when the announcement comes out, stock XYZ is getting added to the SP 500 next week, which, Coinbase, for example, is getting added next week. I don't know exactly the day, but I do know it is next week. It'll typically kind of run up. Obviously the first day the news comes out, you get a big move, and then it may just kind of trickle its way up into the S&P ad. Once it gets added, that's typically where you're going to see a little bit of a pullback. So that's kind of the trade there. So I am bullish on Coinbase, but tomorrow I don't think you're going to see a 30-point move again. So that's kind of my thoughts, Chucko. Do you also mind going over some of your profitable trades, like what was going through your head and what made you buy, sell? So yeah, so start right. I mean, I have a ton. If you look at profits chat, dude, you can see a lot of the members caught it with me this morning. When I'm live trading, I'm not only just telling you guys like what I'm looking at, I'm also literally saying I'm in now. I'm selling and I'm walking you through second by second of the trade. I like this. I don't like that. I want to see buyers do this. I want to see sellers do that. I want to see price do this. I want to see price do that. So I'm walking you through the entire trade. If you go to our YouTube channel and you look at the live trading that I did this morning, you'll get to see that. I was done in the first 30 minutes of the day. So, within that first 30-minute window, you could see me trade Tesla. But yeah, just quickly here, for example, Tesla has been really strong the last couple of days. I was looking for this to break yesterday's high. Yesterday's high was at 322, I think. And, we opened today around 320. I ended up trying this opening range break here, which basically means this first candle opens up. We dip down. I started buying here into the break of the high of the day, ended up coming back down. So I stopped out for a small loss, waited, bought here on this candle, expecting it to break this high right here. And then, yesterday's high was, kind of like around this area here. So once we broke through today's high, so I was already in at this level here at about 321. Sat there for a second, then boom, big rip, slowly went up. I started selling, and I sold my last little bit of contracts right above 325. And you can see that we ended up pulling back for the majority of the day. Then obviously looking back out, this thing ended up going freaking crazy. So that was, a quick trade, right? Most of my trades are under 10 minutes of time. They're very quick, but that's just what I'm good at. Snowflake is earnings on 21st. That's good to know. Alan, yeah, I only trade options. Took an L this morning due to position size in the first trade. I always seem to buy in way higher than your alerts, even though I'm ready and waiting to hear. Any recommendations? So Shin, are you on the phone or are you on a desktop? Because, maybe if you're on a phone, if you miss something by 10 or 15 seconds, you're going to get a worse fill than me. Snowflake, I think Snowflake could be an equity play. I'll definitely I'll look to swing that over 200 with options, but it could be an equity play as well. How can I identify a gap in a stock? You said Snow is a gap from 200 to 230. Yeah, so if you go to Snowflake, you can only see gaps on the daily chart, right? So I'm going to go on a 1 year, 1 day, but actually this gap is further than a year ago. So I'm going to go on like a 3-year chart here. So this gap here is from an earnings move. So on February 28th of 2024, they had their earnings. On February 29th, they opened all the way down at 180. They closed the day before around 230, and then opened at 180. Popped up, ended up hitting 195 here, and then we have since been under that 195 level for almost 2 years now. So there's a huge gap in price right here, right? Can you see that? Or one candle's here and the next candle's way down here. So there's a big gap in that area. So typically gaps will fill. And they're gonna be a lot of money and a lot of really big traders identify gaps and they want to trade those gaps. I know there's going to be some attention at this level, especially if we can get back above 200. This stock's been beaten down a lot. So especially if people are short this stock, if we break that and solidify a breakout, excuse me, shorts will then get squeezed out. You can get a really strong move. Maybe this could move $10, $15 in a single day. right? So that's kind of what I'm looking at. So does that make sense for you guys to understand gaps? Yeah, so you got to look at gaps on daily charts when every candle's one day. But typically, gaps happen when there's either a really big news event or more times than not on earnings. So this is when they had bad earnings. Again, closed around 230 and opened that next day around 180. So right there, that was a 50-point gap. Ended up bouncing up about $15, and then after that, we just did nothing but sell off. So back above that, we're going to be in this gap area above 195, and this thing could start really, really moving. So much more simple than you probably expected. But Shan, so yeah, if you're on the phone, that's just an issue of trading on a phone. Um, the next step from a phone is definitely a laptop, which will be faster, and then a desktop is that final spot. So it doesn't mean you can't do it on a phone, but for my style of trading, seconds matter. So if I say I'm in and you take 15 seconds to hit buy, you could run into some problems. Okay. So if you have to be on a phone, my advice for you is I always tell everyone exactly what contract I'm looking to buy. Okay. So you need to have that contract ready to go, and you need to be ready to like click the buy button on your phone, right? Have a market order ready so you don't have to worry about what price to set the limit by. Have a market order, get ready. Whenever I say I'm in, that's when you got to hit the buy button. Okay. If you're going to stay on a phone. Yeah. Again, if you want to hit buy on a phone like TK saying, but at least you can see the chart. As long as you're ready on your phone, you can click buy quick. That'd be good. Do you limit order on a PC or always market? So it's a little different for me. So like I have a tool where it's called a slippage order. So rather than buying market, it's basically a buy market, honestly. And honestly, I don't really want you guys worrying about slippage orders or whatever. But a slippage order basically just means when I hit buy, it will set a limit buy order for me 2% above the bid. So if the spread is 5% and I hit market, let's say that the bid on a contract is, $100 and the ask is, 110, right? So that's a 10% spread. If I hit buy limit on my slippage order button, it'll set a buy at 1.02. So I risk not getting filled, but I'll also get filled at 1.02. So I'll get a better fill than if I just hit buy market and got filled at 1.08 or 1.09 or 110, if that makes sense. But for the sake of a new trader, I would recommend just doing buy market if you're trading with me. Okay. If you're trading my quick scalp day trades, I would recommend doing buy market. What about, sorry, Common Man, what about Hood? Can we jump in? I mean, I don't know anything about Hood. This thing is absolutely ripping here. It's not a stock really I'm looking at trading. It's made a really strong move, so I'm just kind of chilling on that. I may be interested in the all-time high break up here around $67. I think that's all-time high at least. So I don't know. It's obviously strong. It's got a lot of momentum, and it could work. But it's not something it's really on my radar. That doesn't mean it's not a good trade though. I like you as a consciously watch so I can be ready when it says go. Okay, good. Ethan, is that the new walk limit order? I don't know. I've never heard walk limit, but it sounds like it might be it. A slippage button is part of the trading platform that I use. So I'm on the Interactive Brokers Trader Workstation. It looks like this. So I'll send a quick screenshot for you guys. So this is like where I hit buy and sell. So that blue button is going to be the slippage button. You can see the green one next to it's buy market. But this is kind of what I'm rocking with here. That's like interactive. That's where I buy and sell everything. Honestly, I could share my screen so you guys can see my entire setup if you'd like. Let me just do that real quick. Typically, for y'all that know me, I have all the monitors in the world, but right now I'm rocking one, and I'm just rocking that big 49-inch one. So I don't know if y'all can see that good enough, but it's See my stream right there, but this is what it looks like when I'm streaming with you guys in the morning, right? I got my main stock that I'm trading, got a bunch of stocks over here on the watch list, my buying and selling over here, my Discord, and my option chain down here. So that's what I got going right now. Where can I find the watch list? So it's a premium watch list, I believe. So you're a premium and you're in my coaching. So sweet. So here you can see it right here. Nope, sorry, wrong one. Disregard that. That's all my recorded videos. It's this one right there. For you free people, you won't be able to access that. Yeah, so that seems like it's the same thing, Michelle. Yeah, I mean, I love the 49 inch. I mean, it's a hassle to move around, especially for me when I'm like moving out and stuff. But when I have my whole setup, I mean, it's great. But now, only using one monitor, you really don't need a whole lot. But honestly, if you guys just got one 49 inch monitor, you should be pretty happy with that. Nice, TK. 224 is nice. Yeah. Look, more monitors does not mean more money made. I can promise you that. It honestly may hurt you in the fact that you're going to get too distracted by other things. But for me, when I'm streaming and I got to look at news and I, got to watch a bunch of stocks and all that, it's nice to have as much room as I can. So if you're just, honestly, I could survive with just this 149 inch. I'd be totally fine. So don't think that you need this stuff because you really don't. I mean, I traded Tesla last Friday on a laptop and I made $3,000. Yeah, three. That's nothing to you, Fulcrum, but it was pretty solid for a quick little like 10-minute trade. Yeah, and it was a Mac stick, man. I know you hate Mac. So yeah, it was fun. It was a trade I waited on for a while, and honestly, if I would have sized up more if I had a feeling that it would happen that day. I just kind of woke up and I was like, well, damn, it looks like today's going to be the day for Tesla. And there's nothing I could do. And also, my Ethernet cord was broken at the time. But what percentage of your portfolio do you use per trade? So I mean, that's an interesting question because it depends on it. I can give you an answer. For me, I typically use like no more than like 10% or 12% or 15% of my account, like at most. But that's also because it doesn't mean like all my money is here, right? I always pay myself out. I like to keep my account over, at least 25K at the very minimum, just so I'm over PDT. But other than that, I just take everything off the top. I don't need to be taking 25, 30, $40,000 trades, right? Yeah, hop on, Fulgrim. So just keep that in mind. But if you have $1,000 account, it's hard to use 10% of your account, right? But at the end of the day, if you can't make money with a small account, you can't make with a big account, right? So I would, if you have $1,000 account, I get using 20% or 30% of your account per one trade, but you have to train yourself not to use massive portions of your account because that's where you can blow up really, really quickly. I'm debating between a laptop or tablet. Desktop is not an option since I am trading at work. So, yeah, I mean, obviously, laptop is going to be better than tablet, right? A tablet's the same as a phone, just a bigger screen. So, but if it's more discreet for you at work, then maybe a tablet's the way to go. But my recommendation is probably a laptop, unless you're having to hide it.
Laptop is the move.
Yeah.
Unless you're Ethan and have like a billion screens, dude, I would lose my mind.
No, we were just talking about that. I'm like, I'm rocking just one monitor right now because I moved out. I was like, guys, you don't need 100 monitors like I have. Honestly, you could survive just fine with one.
All right, my question for you, Ethan.
What's up?
One mega monitor, like the Austin method, or the 2 to 3 smaller monitors? What's the move? What are you thinking?
Honestly, right now, dude.
I've seen Austin's, but it's like longer than him, bro. It's crazy. I'm like, what is going on?
He probably has a 49. So I have the 49-inch like Odyssey, the Samsung Odyssey right now. That's on it, and right now, like, it's the only thing I have up, and it's plenty. Like, I could totally like live with this. Like, this is like more than enough. But obviously, like I have to stream and have to have multiple things. If I didn't have to stream, especially, I could. This is totally fine. So I would do that. But I don't know. It kind of depends on how fancy you want it to look. But I'm kind of liking the one monitor setup here.
Is it so? One large? Yeah.
Yeah, just one large one.
A laptop. Yeah. Because what do you have for your Is it you have a newer computer, or do you just have a really good one from a bit ago, like hardware wise?
It's honestly not as new considering there's like 5070s or whatever. I have a 3080 GPU, so I mean it's good enough. Right. i9 processor and 64 gigs of RAM, so I mean it works fine. I mean, obviously, like gaming wise, it could be a little slow, but why does that doesn't matter.
You make what? If you make 3K in 10 minutes, you can buy a new monitor or a new computer. I don't think that's the issue.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah, dude, that's very spot on. Seriously, well done.
Yeah.
And was that market open too?
Yeah, it was. Let's see, it was last Friday, so it was 0 DTE, so they were running.
Oh, I love it.
But
you're making me proud.
Yeah, I know you're the 0 DTE god. Let's see what else here. Pradham, what is a good place to start learning options fundamentals for a beginner? So I teach options fundamentals. I have many lessons recorded on that in my coaching side of this chat. Also, Swinging Bull is another. He does like passive option stuff. So more like, you're going to need. Our rule of thumb is you're going to want at least $5,000 in your account to do that. Yeah, so like I have videos recorded, like I said, on option fundamentals. I can, I've done classes on it many times before, but in free lessons like this, I typically don't want to stick on one topic for a long time unless it's something everyone wants to learn about. But there's also plenty of YouTube videos on it. If you just look up like, options basics 101, you can learn what a put is, what a call is, volume, open interest, also like the Greeks, right? So theta, delta, gamma, stuff like that. And that's really all you need to know. It's not as intricate as you think. It just might take a little bit of time to understand the lingo.
Yeah, and if you're looking for a good day trading lesson, just buy Ethan's coaching program. What is it, like $40? I mean, it's like a total steal.
Yeah, it's not much.
Ethan made 3K in 10 minutes. So that he paid for about almost 100 months of his coaching program in 10 minutes. Like, just put that in perspective. Like, you can do that for 8 years of coaching and a 10-minute trade from what Ethan did. And knowing you obviously did a decent size, but you're not putting in 50 grand. I mean, you don't need to, right? I mean, what percent was that trade? Do you mind me asking? Probably.
Yeah, no, it was honestly, dude, I sized it like a little wimp just because it was a Friday. But I mean, the contracts ran over like 1,000% throughout that day. So I mean, if we would have held,
put in $300, you make 3K, and you have 8 years.
Yeah,
like
no, 100%.
Math is math.
Yeah, we had this dude Latvian who's been killing it lately. He's been with us for a long time. He went to the in-person Traders Paradise last year. He spent $400. So he bought a little bit earlier than me. He bought 2 contracts for like $200 each, and he made $1,800. Okay, so put that into perspective for y'all that think that you need like $10,000 to make a lot of money. On very rare occasions like that may happen once or twice a month. Think about that: $400 into $1,800, right? And that pays for 10 months of premium. right? So it is doable, right? It's not guaranteed, obviously. You got to execute the trade, but it is very doable. Yeah, Stickman. So Stickman, what GPU would you go for now? A lot of my friends, they're wanting to get in the computer game and they're asking me all these questions, and a lot of them, I mean, the 4060 seems to be in a lot of the pre-builts right now. So I feel like I should at least upgrade.
We've seen 4070s.
4070s, okay.
Yeah, I bought my girlfriend a 4070 Super in a pre-built. So I wasn't there, so I didn't help her build.
What are those, like
$800,
$1,000?
I don't think they're that much.
4070 Super. Let me see.
Are they? No,
they're not. Wow. I mean, even if it's 12 gigabyte.
Like you can buy a pre-built for like 1,800 with the 4070 Super.
Yeah.
Which like is half of your trade. It's 5 minutes of work.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I definitely should upgrade it for sure.
Especially if you're doing like the larger monitor, I think that would be better.
Yeah, 100%. What was the Stickman? What was that new one? It was like it was in the 5000 series, and it was like half the price of like a 4070, but like double the power or something. It was really small too. Maybe it was a 5060. Yeah, let me see.
Yeah, because these are like 450. I think it's a 5060. Yeah, because these are like 500. Or they're not released yet.
No, they should be released.
Dude,
yeah, it's the 5060. Yeah.
My friend got two 5090s off of the like original sale, and now they're selling for it's like 4K. It's like double the initial price for these.
Well, is the supply that low?
GPUs, dude.
I guess crypto's running again, so that's why.
Tesla, you scalp GPUs, dude. Is that the new strat?
Yeah, I guess so, dude.
It's like, what's going on?
Quick 100-200% gains right there.
It's off rip, dude. Just get a bot. I had friends that like coded a bot, and then it just instantly buys the GPU because when they release it, sells out in what 5 seconds.
Yeah, you gotta have a bot.
Anyone can buy fast enough, yeah. So I noticed your note. I'm happy to take over your stream tomorrow morning if you have your.
So I don't stream on Wednesday. I know Lee does, but I may have you take over Thursdays, just depending on like how I'm feeling. I mean,
I'll just do Thursday. Don't because if you talk a lot, it jacks up. Like I have no wisdom teeth, so why don't you just take it off? Like I can totally replace it.
Yeah, no, that honestly, if you could like take over, I may even just pop in there with you and just kind of sit and chime in here and there. So that would be perfect, dude. If you're willing to do that.
Yeah, let me do that. Yeah, of course. Because the thing about the wisdom teeth is like you just need 3 or 4 days, like not doing much. But like I mean, you're also a smart guy, so you don't. There's no reason to risk. Because it's not just like also you just bleed as well.
Yeah.
There's no reason to like damage your gums because then you just have to wait longer and just take the ass.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But you're a polished grad now, so you got me beat on that. I got a year and a half. It's awful.
Oh, really? Well, you're at Emory, right?
Yeah, I'm in Emory.
That's a badass school. So man, it's a little bit weighted a little more than old, normal public A&M, university. But that's awesome, dude. Enjoy it because it's gonna go quick. Yeah, not in Texas.
You're like freaking top 5 like alumni networks, bro.
Yeah.
Is it Aggies, right? Isn't the Aggies?
Yeah, Aggies.
I did. I don't know if you saw. I posted a United Healthcare trade today, and nobody took it with me. I was so sad.
Did you buy puts? Oh wow, it just dumped. Good shit, dude.
Swing puts, but I'm getting booked. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, oh, I don't like where this is going after, but I think nothing. No, it doesn't go too crazy. I also played. I did a lotto. I did SPX. But yeah, this was crazy. If you look at the gold time frame, it's like absolutely dark. So I played SPX Plus. Go to the last 10 minutes of SPX. It took longer than they did. So I was kind of late. So I bought 100 contracts, like at like 357 for the 100 contracts. So I had like a $16,000 position. I hit like 150% or something.
Jeez, dude. So like a lot of your trades are the last 10 minutes of the day. So what are you looking for? I feel like from what I've seen, you do a lot of reversals. But honestly, I don't know. So what's your strategy here, if you don't mind?
Yeah, sure. So when I'm looking at, so like if you go to the screen, so I can actually see this. So do you see it like? Do you have a vector VWAP? What is the line on your chart?
I don't know why VWAP's not here on SPX. Because typically I do
Is
have
it
it.
EMA?
No, yeah, no, disregard that. That's simply just kind of for a color change. It's some sort of moving average,
No,
but
no, I'm saying it'll be helpful to share what I'm saying because I use something kind of similar. Just to
okay.
put it basic, so it's helpful. Yeah. So at 350, um, so I originally thought we were going to go up, like full transparency. But basically, my play was the high of day was like 130. Do you see that double top?
Yeah.
Or was it 130-ish? Yeah. So yeah, from earlier, exactly. So once I saw the double top, and which is sometimes two bounces or two rejections on the best confirmation. I usually prefer a triple, but this is what it is. So once we didn't break that, my assumption was, and then I looked on I have like these tools, like delta, gamma,
Yeah.
X, those kind of things. So I saw the SPX put volume just spike like crazy once we rejected off of the high of day and began that downtrend. So my thought process was, okay, I'm seeing the volume increase on the downside, right? The X volume. I'm seeing a rejection off of high of day. The moving averages I don't really use, they're curling down. As you can see on your chart, it's curling down. And then you also have, you only have 15 minutes. So a reversal during that, 10 minutes is kind of is unlikely, right? Because they're going to probably try to sell out and close.
Yeah.
So once it rejected high of day, and then I saw the put volume increase, those are kind of the only two things I needed to truly validate what I was seeing. And actually, somebody on this call, this guy Kratos, he's a friend of mine. He did it with me. I saw that had a banger day. Yeah, no, it's definitely not risk. Like in this TKKAK, you've been in some bangers. I've seen you in chat. You're like,
Yeah.
passionate. I love it. I see like they joined the lotto train, and I don't even need to tell them because they're cooked. It's amazing. But yeah, so it was a combination, like I said, reversal off of high of day. Like that's a really key indication. Because if you have a high of day reversal near the end of the day, that's really strong. Right? Because if theoretically, if you break high of day, you play the bullish continuation. But when you, like you said, the reversal, right? When you don't see that break and you see the reversal, that's a pretty strong indicator because it's a very unlikely for it to go back up.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't know if that makes sense.
No, it totally does. And it's interesting because like those last 10 minutes where the buy and sell imbalances are. So I mean that's actually really cool. Because I mean, I've just seen that a lot of your trades are those last 10 minutes, but I never really realized, at least on SPX, like how big these moves are, considering it's only 10 minutes.
Yeah, like I didn't catch it, but some of these cons ran 4,000%.
Yeah, that's insane.
Which is just like, I mean, just look at that chart. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, what is happening?
That's a big move.
So yeah, it's insane. And I've been catching a couple of them. So this was a 3:57 to 4 o'clock. I just held. I'm gonna delete this in a second. But so that I entered that trade at 3:57. It'll cash settle around 16,500.
So you let it go till close and until because you're in the money.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Right. So there I was. This is probably not my best decision I've ever made, but at 3:59 I was still in the trade, and I was in the 5.8. What was the closing price? So I was in the 5.890 puts. That was my trade.
58.84.
So yeah. Okay. So 5.8. Okay, yeah. So I was down 50% in the open of the candle because we weren't moving. So I actually was down like 6 or 7K, but because we moved $4, like that last candle, the 359 candle completely saved my ass because it's so much larger, right? So
yeah,
that candle opened up and was chopping in the beginning, the first 20 seconds. Then once those 20 seconds, afterwards, it dropped 3 or 4. I think it was 3.4, whatever the math,
yeah,
$3.40 or something. And since it's cash settled, the value of the contracts, it doesn't matter the Greeks, it just matters the closing price of SPX.
Interesting. Okay.
So like the 5890s are worth $3.46. Right? Even if the delta was like $1 million, it only matters the final closing price if it's in the money. So you just subtract the strike price by the closing price.
Interesting.
And that's how I got. That's what you get for puts at least, right?
Nice.
So that's how I got. That's how I got that trade, and I was down. Oh, like I said, I was down 50%. I almost averaged in, but I was like, if I'm wrong twice, that'd be really bad.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna ride it out. And I ended up hitting, it was at 20%, made 16K.
Boom. I mean, call me a scalper, dude. That's crazy. That's just unbelievable. Good shit.
You're more appreciative. I feel like you're more calculated. Mine is kind of like a gamble, and that's not a gamble. I like saying educated bet.
Yeah.
That's what I say.
Yeah, that's all this is, though. That's all trading is in general, right?
That's so true, dude. That's like the income together. So yeah, so
cool. Hang on, let me go up here and see if there's any questions here. When you do reversal, you're watching. Okay, so JB, that was more of a question for him. I think he answered it. And there's one more I think I missed up here. Do you have a place that lists the times you trade? Yeah. So if you go to the events tab, up in the top left of the Discord, lay, I don't know. Sorry, I don't want to say that the wrong way. But if you go and look at the events tab, you scroll all the way up on the left side of your screen, you can see all the events and all the times. So just to kind of answer your question about me specifically, I trade Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, market open. I do the first hour of the day, but I start at 9:15 a.m. Eastern, and I trade until about 10:30, 10:45 Eastern. And then I teach Tuesday nights for free. And then I teach for my coaching students only on Thursday nights. Those are both at 7 p.m. Eastern time. Also on the live trading side of things, Monday and Friday, those are premium only, which is perfect. And then Tuesday, Thursday are free for anyone else to join. So the only day I don't do it is Wednesday. But yeah, so we got about 15 or so minutes left. So keep firing away, guys, if you have anything else. Yeah, pretty much. Kenny Penny. Yeah. So like I take care of the market open and Fulcrum takes care of market close. Pretty nice, right? Get done in the first 30 minutes in the morning, and then you can come back for the last 30 minutes of the day. Pay for your dinner.
The first 30 minutes you make good money by being intelligent, and the last 30 minutes you make good money by being a sidekick. We have a good time either.
Yeah, exactly. I'll help pay for your breakfast. Fulcrum helps pay for your dinner. Pretty nice, right?
I like it. There you go, man. That's a good combo. That's awesome.
Yeah, I know. I need to come in here and trade market close with Mr. Fulcrum here. What else you guys got? You free guys, y'all are firing away with the questions. I'd love to see it. So keep it coming. Platinum Plus, welcome. Vinny, welcome. Sir MD. Kratos, what's up? I know Fulcrum just mentioned you. Wowzers, what's going on? Hofsnaggle, Just Jen, Oofed. You guys are all new. NG, not new, but I want to make sure y'all are taken care of. If you have any questions, what's going on, guys? Don't be shy. There's no bad questions. Me and Fulcrum will be here to answer whatever you have.
This is true. I think
I know he's a beast.
You want to hop on the stage with us? He's a features trader.
That's good, Jen. Yeah, I mean, honestly, if anyone wants to get on mic and talk, they're more than welcome to. I mean, we only have like 15 minutes, so whoever wants to hop on, yeah, here. Sweet, there we go. What's up, Benny? Going good, dude. What's up?
Going good. How are you good, homie? Benny is one of the best futures traders I know. He does a lot of he's an analyst in the East Side Discord, so he's providing some sauce. He helped me. He does lottos with me, Ethan, and he also does morning trades. He's like you and me, but older and Asian. So,
Nice.
Wow. Not old or old, but old and Asian.
you're not old. You're good. Vinny, how have you been? Are you getting ready for the big day? Vinny's guys, congratulations, Vinny. He's getting married in a month and a half.
Wow, my condolences.
I've been running around the past couple weeks, pretty much, just like last minute logistics, sorting out like hotel situations where people are coming as well, because South Asian side of the family has a lot of people invited.
Nice.
Yeah, that's understandable. I do not.
He needs one.
Because I'm not the best at posting. So I had one, and then I was like, yo, I'm terrible at posting. It's not.
Yeah, it's you got to get in the routine. It sucked. I remember like oh god, I got to post this and that. And especially, I mean, your trades are so quick. You know, it's hard.
It's hard, yeah. And I feel like the other thing is like, yeah, and that's why Ethan, you're cooking, because when you're doing a live trading, it just is easier to share it, because you're just like, here's what I'm doing, you know, and this is what's happening. Versus me, where it's like the second I enter, it's already moving.
Yeah.
Right. So I feel like since yours it's probably more calculated in terms of timing in particular. Well, in terms of like analysis, mine's more timing based. But I do think like you have I mean, it's good, right? You have that advantage of, okay, right, it's in the morning and I have, you know, if you don't enter for 10 or 20 seconds, it's fine. For me, if I don't enter, I could lose everything or make, you know, good or bad.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think if I was like bound to only having to like send signals through text, it would be like insanely hard. So I can only imagine with your style. I mean, dude, you should do like the last 30 minutes of close like pop-ups. Like maybe that's your thing. You know?
Oh snap, that's good. You know, Farouk, he kept asking me to do it. I don't know if he's in here. He kept asking me. I should do that. Let's see. I would like to do it on Fridays, but that's when they have market mastery or not.
Yeah,
mastery.
the end of day thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. If they could shift that to 4, that would be great. But
yeah, I hear you. I don't really. I know Quench likes to do his like spy lotto thing, but honestly, that you should be taking that over.
Yeah, because I mean, I will say he hit some bangers last week. That was great.
Yeah, he has hit some good ones, but I also think it's just like, let's see if this goes up or down. You know, it just like sends it like a $5 risk.
Yeah, that's pay and pray, dude. That's
yeah,
like what's going on here. And he does spy too. It's like, dude, don't be so boring. So like, the other problem is if you hold those contracts, you could get a sign on spy. Like the reason I do SPX is because cash settle means even if I'm owning 1,000 bonds and in the money, it just settles at that price, right?
Yeah.
So like I don't risk like that's why you would never do a Tesla 0DTE lotto at 340, right? Because you could have to purchase those contracts.
Right.
So that would be suck. So Ethan is great live. 100% agree with you. Ethan is the GOAT of live trading in Benny Place. Number 1 in my opinion. Big fan over here. I've taken some of your Tesla trades. I took the one you did last week actually.
Oh really?
I was in here for a little bit. Yeah, I was in there for a little bit.
Nice.
Let's see if I can find a screenshot. Hold on. Yeah, because you were the GOAT at this one. I'm Team Ethan all the way, man.
No, I need to get like funded or some shit. I don't know.
Like, how was everybody's day though? Like, to me, like you guys hit some bangers.
Yeah, Ethan was cooking. He's cooking.
Like, I placed my trade in the morning and I didn't look back until market close, and I realized I was stopped at the profit.
Yeah, at least you made
It's a good day.
That's good. Seriously.
About 300 points.
All right, it's futures. That's a lot. That's good. I assume you did longs?
Yeah, I went long right in the morning.
Okay.
So I went long right in the morning, just set my stop loss, 300 points of profit after I started shopping.
Do we need some futures action anyway? What's going on here?
I know that's like the missing piece.
Like we got crypto now, options, stocks, credit, debt. Yeah.
It's honestly the missing piece. And with the whole funded account, I've been trying to tell Quench, like he does need to to try to like push to a younger audience, because I mean the amount of like, I mean, we don't want to be the Ferrari, taking selfies on a hood of a Lambo, right? Trying to sell courses or whatever. But I do think that would be a huge ad, especially nowadays. Everyone wants the funded accounts. Everyone wants to trade futures. So I mean, if y'all two came in here and you did a future side of it, I mean that could be a huge ad. So maybe something to bring up.
There's a lot of merit in futures trading, right? You don't have to worry about the futures; it's all about the movement.
Right.
You put up equity, and then how much you make is dependent on the amount of the move, right? So it simplifies it a lot more.
Yeah.
But
you also
the thing is,
risk losing $50.
yeah, for another kind of risk losing $50, if you're trading your own money on futures, though, that becomes really costly real quick.
Yeah, we should probably not do that.
Like, I don't think anybody should be trading futures with their own capital unless they have over $25,000 in account.
Yeah, that makes complete sense. Yeah, here I found the screenshot.
Was that on Friday?
This was last Friday. Yeah. Gotta crop some of my account out of this.
The thought process thing could be a smooth. Oh, options with futures is a nightmare. I think if you're trying to make the transition between futures and options, I think of the two, going from options to futures is probably slightly easier. But the thing is, people have to really get used to the movement, because if you're trading full-size contracts on futures, it is a killer. Like when you're wrong, you're really wrong. Right? So an options contract, you lose that what you put in, right? Like you lose, I don't know, random candle knifes you out, you lose what, 50% of your options contract. Big deal. If a random knife comes on futures, you're losing like the movement, how much the movement is worth. Right?
Yeah.
So if you're in a full-size contract, you're down like $2,000 on just one contract, for example. And that becomes a very, very different story, right?
Yeah, you have 10 contracts, you could be down a car.
Like I've seen people like lose 25 grand off one 4D play
Jeez.
Yeah, that sounds like something I would.
in less than 10 seconds. So
Michelle.
futures is all about discipline, more so than options.
Yeah, that makes total sense. Yeah, because it's also you can get margin called like.
You can get margin calls like instant.
I'm trying to find the screenshot, dude.
Like if you get nervous, futures is not for you. But the lucky thing is futures you can size with micros, right? But like even then, like some of the moves like can be pretty vicious on micros. Like I caught 300 points today, and I did it with 3 micros. 300 points is $600. Yeah, $600 on 3 contracts. So that's $1,800 just on micros, right? But wicks on futures will destroy you, because you can be liquidated super quick, and the trade goes your direction. It'll never happen on options.
Yeah.
Sure.
But there's good money to be made in anything, so it's always worth exploring.
Yeah, Ethan, I made 27 grand.
Damn.
My sizing was not. I put in too much. Wow, dude. I'll send you this to your personal DMs. This is not meant as a flex. I put in too. I caught it very.
No, dude, show it in here. I don't care.
Right. If I had your entry, bro. Oh my god. But I didn't quite catch it.
Yeah, I mean, I sized it like a child and still made 3. So I mean, you couldn't have sized it too crazily.
Oh.
I also don't know where you entered either. So
no. For hold on, let me see. I can turn on my. What date was this? This was. That's right, Friday. Yeah. For my own sanity, I'm gonna say that's unfortunately not true. Is that here? Let me post this in here. For anybody curious, this is what I entered with. I was confident in Ethan. Okay, my choice worked out. I'm not complaining. Let me send this. Yeah, and Ethan we trust. This is all I'm saying. And in Vinny with futures.
I'll play options too.
Fair enough. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Ethan scalping is crazy, but you're on fire, and you do it in front of a lot of people. That's why I have to give you the most credit. Not just that your trades work, but like it's tough when there's a lot of people because you feel the pressure.
Oh,
So, like,
100%.
I live stream, like for Lottos sometimes in this other server. I have like 80 people, right? And you feel it.
Oh,
I'm sure you
100%.
have it.
100%.
If I fail, this is gonna be really awkward.
Yeah, not only am I losing money, I know that people that, especially people who aren't going to manage risk correctly, I'm just like, shit, man, I really hope y'all are doing the right thing, at least stopping out with me if I take a loss. That's the hardest part.
Yeah, that was the size.
Oh my God. Oh my God. On a 0 DTE?
Yeah, I got 120.
Oh my God.
Dude, if I caught your initial entry, I could have been fine.
Yeah, dude. You made 1,000% on that.
I'll have Discord. Nice knowing y'all.
Yeah. Holy
Yeah,
shit.
It was a lot. Yeah, it was a lot. I don't normally do that. I just like, I was very confident in what you said. I believed in you and it worked. Obviously, I'm very happy. I was just late. I was like, man, I'm late.
Yeah, that was a breakout I had talked about for like 2 weeks with everyone. I mean, I think a lot of you guys listening can attest to that. All I did was like, all right, guys, like, you know, watching the same thing today. It wouldn't happen. Friday, like, I was like, oh, perfect. It's gonna happen on a Friday. This will be a good day. And then we crushed it. So a lot of people did good. A lot of people broke like personal records.
You were ready for that, dude. I joined the live. It was back in April. Yeah, you were mentioning that in April. I remember.
Yeah.
Because you were like, and you bought a W. Yeah. What percent did you get? Like 600 or 700%? Something crazy?
No. I probably caught like, well, I mean, I scaled out of it pretty quickly. So I mean, I probably made like in total probably 80% on my my position. So I mean, I didn't execute as well as I wanted, but I also didn't think we'd go from 290 to 305 in like 10 minutes.
Yeah, that was crazy.
So I just took a lot of profit pretty early, then just kind of held a couple runners. So definitely could have done that a little better, but hard to complain.
But that's the thing where it's like, I risked $120,000 for 20K. You risked, like, proportionately, your trade was instantly better. Not that it's comparative, right? But it's like, that's the thing, guys, where, you know, lessons learned by Ethan's coaching group. You know, that's all I gotta say. Keep the coaching group.
Heck yeah.
Or, Ethan, you should make a course too.
Yeah, I'm working on it right now.
He's like a sane person, and I'll make one that's like how do you trade like an insane person.
Yeah, no, I'm actually for y'all listening. I got like 2 or 3 more videos left to record, and it's gonna be like a whole package. So it's gonna be a beginner. Yeah, and you know, I was actually gonna film another video tomorrow, but getting teeth ripped out of my head, so probably gonna have to put that on the back burner until next week.
What do you call it? You have a name?
I don't have a name yet, but I'm about like halfway through. I don't know. It's just like I should find a good name. That's a good point.
Yeah, like, you know, even if it's simple, like how to trade 0 DTEs, or make it memorable.
Yeah.
You know, like, well, this one guy had this crazy quote. I was like, it was pretty funny. You'll find this. It was like, I know it's 8 o'clock, so let's go. I don't read the market's mind. It's too busy reading mine. It's a bar.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So, I like yours. How to trade options like a sane person. Something memorable. I mean, then they'll be like, "Yo, this guy's funny," or like, "What is this guy from?" But either way, they'll buy it. So.
Yeah, for sure. Well, yeah, dude, yeah, Vinny and Fulcrum, guys, always a pleasure, man. I love when you guys get on here. If anyone has other questions, throw them at me. If not, we'll wrap things up. But this was a fun one.
Vinny, 9:30 a.m. Thursday. I'm gonna be live streaming. If you want to pull up, feel free to trademark it.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah, just request the speaker thing, even if it's okay with you.
Yeah, dude, I don't care.
Okay, that's because you're chill. Some people here get all pressed when it's talking to
All right, guys. Yeah, y'all have a good night. I'm out. Bye-bye.